Welcome back to the channel. So I believe it's coming up in November that Swift is going to have this official rollout of them utilizing Chainlink. It was in this practice phase for a long time, and now they're going to make it official. They're going to be using Chainlink to a degree. Now, keep in mind that we did read in one document, they said they were going to work with more DLT companies. Also in November, let me say this, they have, I believe that's when they're doing something more with ISO. ISO 2002222 in November as well. There's a lot happening in November. Now, we heard before, not heard, but we read before in some, I can't remember what document it was. Maybe some people still have it. Swift was saying how they pretty much took on this DLT-like verbiage where they were saying how they wanted to connect, you know, TradFi and DeFi together. You know, they wanted to connect the old systems and the new system together. And that was hilarious at the time because that's what all the DLT companies were saying, you know, Ripple, Algorand, Stellar, Solana. But it gives you a look. Why is that important? That gives you a look into their psychology. It shows you that, number one, they can't just outright dominate. Number two, they need the DLT companies. If not, they would just run them over and just do it on their own without them. It shows that they also believe the DLT companies, the Bankcoin companies, are going to make an impact. Once again, if they weren't going to make an impact, Swift would just run them over. So that's significant there, strategically speaking. Also, it shows that they need them. For what reason do they need them? Swift is losing a lot of ground in the world. Once again, they were weaponized by the West. So a lot of the world has been working at a breakneck pace to get rid of the Swift system and find something to replace it. Are they still utilizing it today? It's possible, yes, to a degree. But they're only utilizing it until they find something new. And that's coming directly from them. I'm paraphrasing from a lot of these different countries. And they're showing you by their actions. All right. But I want to read this to you, okay? Keeping that in mind. November, you have the Chainlink serves a certain purpose, but it doesn't do everything, obviously. It doesn't do what XRP can do, or Hedera can do, or Solana. I'm going to read this here, okay? And then you make up your own mind about it. It says this. Swift's primary goal is to act as a bridge between the traditional financial system and the fragmented world of digital assets. And that's what we read that they said earlier this year. But okay, they're reiterating that. Let's keep going. To achieve this, they cannot work with just one DLT. It's not about uniting. It's not about uniting the old system with the new system when it comes to Swift. It's not. They need to work with more than one DLT because firstly, they all do something different. So Chainlink does one particular thing. Then you have others like XRP that specialize. These are specialist chains, specialize in high speed transactions, XRP or Hedera, whatever, as examples of very fast bank coins. Liquidity, they specialize in that. You have to get those different pieces to the engine. That's why they're doing it. You can't. They literally can't work with one. And this benefits Swift more than it benefits bank coins. Bank coins are fine, folks. They can dominate. That's why you have Ripple talking about we could take 14% of Swift's volume. Something like that. Something like that, right? They can do much more than that. And they know that. They're trying to be respectful so they can land that partnership. And they will just absorb Swift. But they're just being respectful. A lot of times people, you go to let's say you get a job when you're younger. You know you're superior to that manager. You know it. The manager knows. You're trying your best to not be overqualified. Why? Because if you're overqualified, they won't give you that job. They don't want to risk you taking their position, your competition, not just a worker. So the same thing is happening here. A lot of people, I think, misconstrue what's going on, where Ripple might say, well, we'll take 14%. We're not here to take over Swift. They have to say that if they're going to work with them. Working with them, it'll make it easier to take that value, to dominate, to become the biggest, the number one, to move all the money. which we know doesn't really mean all the money. It just means the lion's share, the bigger portion. They want that, right? Wait. But it shows, in my humble opinion, I think is quite obvious. Bankcoin companies don't need SWIFT, but they'll take it. But SWIFT, on the other hand, and this is where the great advantage is, if you're reading any of these materials that are coming out from over the last year, you just do a little Google search. You're gonna pop up. People are having this is like a holiday weekend, right? So there's times where you're not going to be doing anything. Maybe at night, do a little search and pull this information up. This is a powerful catalyst. But it shows that SWIFT needs the Bankcoin companies, period. They're starting off with Chainlink, which is great. Chainlink is a great base to start from. I'm a Chainlink supporter, right? Been a Chainlink supporter since people were telling me it was dead. Remember that? All right. So, but I'm diversified. I'm into a lot of these bank coins. But that's a good base to start, but it's not where you end. It's not. But once again, look at it from this angle. SWIFT has opened the door. There's no speculation anymore about it. Like, well, are they going to work with DLT companies? Because a long time ago, remember, people were saying that they wouldn't. That's what I was here. That's what they said. They were wrong. SWIFT showed, they opened the door. They are working with a DLT company, but it can't be the only one. Let's keep going now. Let me read the rest of this, okay? Now I'm starting to wake up. I'm starting to get a little bit more energy. It says they need to integrate. Wait. To achieve this, they cannot work with just one DLT. Let's keep going. They need to I have to pause. I'm not pausing for you. I'm pausing because I feel it. I let it settle in me. That's impactful. I contemplate for a moment. They need, not want to, need to integrate with a variety of platforms to ensure their member banks can connect to and transact on different blockchains and DLTs, whether they are public or private. This is evident. We're going to get back to that sentence in a moment. You know that, right? They dropped something major right there. We'll come back to that. This is evident in their ongoing live trials, which aim to connect digital islands. Why? They just dropped a bomb, and I wish I could think of another title. There's like, well, mega bomb dropped or something. It's accurate. These have been bomb after bomb after bomb. I can't force people to understand. I can't force people to see what I see. I'm trying to make a title. It's hard to make titles nowadays, but those are accurate. Those are bombs dropped. Sometimes people get numb. You see that? You ever see that? It's like somebody gets a new car. It's really nice sports car. First time they ride in it, it's like, yay, I got a sports car. You go see them 6 to 8 months later, year later, 2 years later. It's just a car. It's worn off. So some people become numb to things. They don't appreciate it anymore. I'm not like that. I appreciate these moments. I feel it still like it's new. These are bombs. I recognize what's in front of me. But okay, to each his own. To each his own. This was a bomb dropped. They have to connect. It's their digital islands, not ours. Not ours. It's not the bank coins. Don't let them twist it. See how they're trying to twist it? The bank coins have global reach. There's Ripple all over the world. Ripple has shown their willingness. It's easy to work with other bank coin companies. We're working with Cardano. Cardano is all over the world. We watched them build. Ripple's working with Hedera. Hedera's all over the world. They're working with Hedera. Easy for bank coin companies to work together. They have one vision. You're going to see more. They are the new SWIFT system. SWIFT knows that. It's not the bank coins. Oh, we got to connect these digital islands. They're trying to put the weakness or the burden on the bank coin. It's not real. But it is real with SWIFT. China doesn't want to use SWIFT anymore. They've been looking to replace that system for a long time. Think not, go do your research. Wait. What about Southeast Asia? What about that? Oh, you mean to tell me they've been looking to replace SWIFT for years, even with systems that are built on Stellar? Did people forget that? It didn't stop there, though. No, they also were testing out Ripple-based systems brought there by Ripple and by SBI. That's interesting. Wait. What about the MENA region? Oh, you mean the MENA region who's deep with Hedera and Ripple? Do we have to keep going, folks? Do we have to keep going? Is that not enough evidence? So Swift is the one who is being pushed out, who's put themselves on an island. Oh, Mick, how's that relevant to this? I'm here to make some value. That is how you make value. The information is power. If you don't have the information, you won't know why an explosion's coming, and you're going to be vulnerable to manipulation. You won't know why the prices will go up or go down, or why it's just consolidating. You won't know. It makes you believes one vulnerable. Then you start seeing the stuff come out, and you don't know that this solid catalyst that didn't go away, it's only growing bigger and bigger, which logically would indicate that price can explode at some point because trillions of dollars might flow through it. But let's erase that. Let's say you don't know that. Now you're seeing articles where the prices might go down, it might be over, it might be done, devastated. I'm seeing this all the time. Now, a person who does not have the same knowledge that you and I do, they might think it's over because of this type of information. Information is power. Digital islands. Is that right, Swift? Is that right? Who's digital island? They put themselves on an island when they went against so many different countries, cutting them off. We're going to cut you off, cut your bank off, sanction. I'm not saying it's wrong or right. I'm saying you put yourself on a digital island. This is just business, but thinking with a business mind state, we're about to take that value from you. You put yourself in a losing position. And when someone in a business puts themselves in a losing position, someone else rises into a winning position. If you're enjoying this video at whatsoever, even a little bit of it, take those hands, please, and click that like button. I'm not going to do too much. All right. Sometimes people want to click the like button. Sometimes they don't. It's like, all right. All I can do is ask. That's all I can do. I do my best every single time I get on this camera. And you see me, whether I have great days, good days, or bad days, I still get it done. I don't quit. My father taught me that. He says, son, do not quit. You start something, you finish it. He would always repeat that. You start something, you finish it, son. Whether you feel like doing it today or you don't feel like doing it today, son. If it's something that you committed to, do it. So you see me. I'm here. Well, you see me or you don't. I'm here. I'm going to perform. I'm going to do my job. I'm going to do what is my calling. All right, so now you have more. You thought that was it? No, there's more. There's more. Listen to this. And this is all brought to you by the members only section, by the way. All of this brought to you by the members only section. Shout out to the members only section making all of this possible. This section says this. Specific DLTs in focus. While their work with Chainlink is the most prominent example, it's the most popular, of a direct partnership, Swift's broader strategy and the nature of their live trials suggest they will engage with a variety of DLTs. Well, they already said it. They said they're trying to connect digital islands. Then some of you, I know some of you saved it. You have that document. I have it somewhere. It's buried. Screenshotted it, saved it. Remember that document? It came out. Was that in 2020? I believe it was 2024, correct? Was it 2024? I believe it was in 2024. When they said that they were going to work with more. This is the time where right around the time they start saying they were going to work with Chainlink. Then they say they were going to work with like 4 or 5 other companies, something like that. Somebody can pull that up easily. So they told us then. Why is that buried? Why is that? You see how that happens? I don't. So they told us. So now they're showing through their actions, their activities, and they're still using that verbiage. They've just changed it a little bit. Now they're, instead of saying that directly, they're going to work with multiple companies. Now they're saying we're going to connect digital islands, which means you're going to work with them. Same thing that happened with, what was the thing with the one thing, was it Fedwire or whatever that failed thing was? It was a conglomeration of different legacy system offerings, non-banking financial entity, shadow bank type offerings as well, with DLT offerings sprinkled in there, here and there. It's just that it didn't work because there were fees attached to that. I put that out in the video. That's why the companies do not want to work with these entities. When they come out in the public, like with I don't know if it was Fedwire, whatever that was. You remember what I'm talking about? Where everybody thought that it was going to be the bank coin killer, and it wasn't. It wasn't. The bank coins are thriving today. But they thought it was. It's Fed something. They have a yearly fee on that. I literally screenshot all of that and put it in the video. A monthly fee, a per transaction type. There was a lot of fees. I'm going off my memory, but anybody can look that up. But it failed. So, but my point is, Swift's system is similar to that. So, of course, there's going to be a bunch of different companies they're going to have to work with. A bunch of DLT companies they're going to work with. And who is dominant as a DLT company right now? Who are the dominant ones? Ripple, Hedera, all the usual suspects. There's only a few really solid bank coin companies. It's not a whole bunch. There's thousands upon thousands of cryptocurrencies. There's only a handful, a little grouping of solid bank coin companies. And whether now or later, they're positioned to win. Whether they bring home the victory, that's up to them. All right, so now, let's continue on here. Where did we leave off? So while their work with Chainlink is the most prominent example of a direct partnership, Swift's broader strategy and the nature of their live trials suggests they will engage a variety of DLTs. For example, some news sources have specifically mentioned that Swift's upcoming DLT integration in November 2025 could favor networks like XRP Ledger, Hedera. They put H bar in here, Hedera, due to their focus on fast. Didn't I say that? I've been saying this for years. It's not new. I said this before Swift was even thinking about or putting it out in the public. They were going to work with DLT companies. Go back and watch those videos. And what did I say? I said all the bank coin companies do something different, but they fit together like a puzzle. Remember that? Some for liquidity, some for speed, some for smart contract platforms, some for scalability. I said that. And now you're seeing the legacy system take it. I was more speaking about just the bank coin companies just dominating outright. They can do that as well. Where does it take those prices? If they do such a thing and they take a way bigger percentage than 14% from Swift. 14%? Folks, I'm very serious. 14% in a world that's rapidly moving away from Swift. All of these areas are preparing for a time period where they're using something other than Swift. Do you think that that's only 10%? China, MENA region, Ripple and Hedera both are deep in Australia. They're deep in Europe. You don't think people are going to go with what's best for business over time, over the years? To each his own. 14%? You sure about that? What happens if they do a little bit more? You don't think that they lowballed that and played it safe so that if it doesn't, so if things don't work out, that whatever they put out there, the number there wouldn't be too much of a difference between what they said and what they actually could do. People don't want to fail. They don't want to set the bar too high and then they don't meet the bar and they have everyone looking at them and castigating them. Oh, you didn't do it. They don't want that. Companies either. So once again, and I don't know that I said that too clearly. You don't think they lowballed that? I do. I definitely do. All right. So they actually said XRP and Hedera. That makes sense. They're fast. They're fast and they're, besides Chainlink, they've done a lot of work. The ones who put in the most work are the ones you're hearing, land partnerships that are having a lot of activities happen. So it just makes sense. Okay, so it says, due to their focus on fast and scalable business transactions and institutional use cases, ongoing R&D and collaboration, Swift has a history of conducting proof of concepts and engaging in industry-wide efforts. They are a board of Linux Foundation's Hyperledger. They are, wait, let me read that correctly. They are a board member of Linux Foundation's Hyperledger project. So they're involved in a lot of different things. I'm not concerned with any of that other stuff whatsoever. I have to stay focused. All right. So it says, in short, Swift's strategy is not to pick just one winner in the DLT space, but rather to create a universal framework. This is going to be easy. It's just a matter of when. And for the individuals to decide how long oneself is going to be involved. That's it. And what you're going to also see is a lot of people who don't want to be involved for too long, trying to, they're going to leave. So on the way out, they're going to kick over everyone's sandcastle. This is it. This is the last one. No, it's not. It's just it's your time to go. That's it. So I would be careful of that type of information as well, to be quite honest. Always decide for yourself. I'm not saying this is not financial advice. I'm not saying for someone to stick in too long or to stay in too short. Listen, that's up to you. What I'm saying is make sure it's always up to you. That's what I'm saying. Make sure it's always up to you. But anyway, let's see if it continues here. So they want to create a universal framework that allows seamless interoperability. If that is the case, trillions will flow. Just like those old video titles I had once. I believed in it then. I believe in it now. Trillions will flow. And if that happens, like I said, it's a matter of when. What happens to that price? It says this requires a continuing and expanding list of collaborations and partnerships and DLT companies to serve the diverse needs of their global network of financial institutions. All right, so that's a lot of good information. Some of these sources, information is coming from Sarson Funds, from Swift itself, obviously, Chainlink's blogs, theblock.com. Folks, so there's a diverse array of sources here for this information. ICBA, BitGet, Scribd. All right, so there's a variety of sources for this information. Now let's close out with a little bit of, I believe I had some Bitcoin news here. Here we go. A little bit of Bitcoin news. I knew I had it. All right, now, folks. Hope you're all having a great weekend. All right. I took my not mine. I just bought some, but I took some allergy medicine the other day. I'm feeling much better. Right. This article is titled, my apologies, "Businesses are absorbing Bitcoin at 4x the rate it is mined," according to Rivers Research. I actually like just speaking my mind better than like just with the article. Sometimes it makes it a little choppy for me, but it's always confusing how to go about that. Anyway, let me read that again. Let me just jump into it. I have a bad habit of that lately, reading the article title and then I just go into some random thought. My apologies. Businesses are absorbing Bitcoin at 4x the rate it is mined, according to Rivers Research. It begins here. Rivers says companies are taking in far more Bitcoin each day than miners create. The U.S.-based Bitcoin financial services firm, which runs brokerage and mining operations and publishes research, released a Sankey-style flow infographic dated August 25th in a post on X. In this layout, outflows are shown on the left, inflows on the right, and the thickness of each line represents the size of the net daily movement. River defines businesses, quote unquote, broadly. The category combines Bitcoin treasury companies, firms such as Strategy that publicly hold BTC, with conventional companies that keep Bitcoin on their balance sheets. Based on their public filings, custodial addresses, tagging, and its own heuristics, River estimates about 1,755 Bitcoin per day flow into business controlled wallets. What do you think this all means? They're all gobbling up the Bitcoin faster than miners can produce it. Something big is coming. That's what I think it means. You tell me. All right. So now that you have that information, I know a little light on the Bitcoin. Some days we're heavy on the Bitcoin information. Some days we're light. It's a light day. But Bitcoin's doing well. That's the most important thing here. They're gobbling up Bitcoin because something major is coming. A major explosion in price is coming. I think it's inevitable, not financial advice. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, everybody, let's get to the money.